But is it true that he made it so that you were put on the cross on a Friday, and because the Saturday was Sabbath, the holy day, you had to be taken out of the cross?
That's right.
Before 12 o'clock at night?
That's right. That's the truth.
And that I also found out today that normally it takes about 2 to 4 days for a human to die on a cross. It can be a very long and slow process.
That's true.
How did you make it die?
I was not alive anymore when I came from the cross. I was already dead. What happened is, what do you do when you love someone so much that you want to protect him from any pain? You kill him.
They killed you so that you would die faster?
Yeah, but it was not them, it was us. I took something that I died faster, and I died faster.
I also heard a story that they gave you something on the way. And
Yeah.
they were pretending to give you vinegar instead of water or something like this, but they gave you something.
Yeah, they gave me something, but not for me to fall asleep or something. It was much stronger.
It was poison.
Wouldn't have made a difference if I would have lived. That was not the most important moment of my life. If I would have continued, for what? What difference would have it made?
Well, more time on this earth.
Time is not important.
I know you had to die. That's
Why do they want to keep me alive? For what? They took me afterwards, but for other reasons.
For what reasons?
They kept me away. They had to keep me away. What are you going to do with me?
Your body.
Yes. My body was more than a body. I was a status symbol. I was more than a body.
Yeah, and he agreed that they could take you away.
Yeah, I wasn't long on the cross. I never said that I spent years on this cross. For me, it wasn't important.
Yes.
I was more worth dead than alive.
And did you plant this thing with the poison? Who planted it?
It was the people who took care of me. They loved me so much. They wanted to avoid, because they didn't know, nobody knew. Because there are situations you have no control of. And nobody knew. It doesn't mean that you have friends. And people were sympathizing with you. Powerful people. They wanted to make sure. And they made sure.
And you knew it? That was going to happen?
Is this important?
No, it's just...
For me, it's absolutely not important if they knew, what I knew. For me, it doesn't make a difference. To keep me alive doesn't make a difference. People think I reincarnate again. Why should I reincarnate again? My energy is always accessible. My love for God is always accessible. That's the only thing that counts for me. And I personally have no interest in my life. You have to understand that people do things for different types of reasons. For me, that's not important. I knew I was a figure in a chess game. If I am a king, or the queen, or the pawn, or the horse, what does it matter? I was part of the whole, like you. I have been moved in that direction, and then they moved me in the other direction, and I moved. And then I went to India. It's not true. What should I do in India? It doesn't make sense. Why should I go to India? I had India with me. And Babaji is not from India. But he's always related to India. Because he likes it there doesn't mean he comes from there. He's not coming from Earth anyways. Such a beloved master.
So somehow there was a connection between you and the one who's my husband now, during your lifetime. Together. And somehow this connection with Babaji passed to him. Or was created back then, right?
You're going to find out anyways. Some things is worth to be in a slow process.
Yeah.
Information's at the wrong moment, and you cannot integrate, you cannot understand them, doesn't make sense either. And awakening is always a very slow process. When I was on this earth, in case my reincarnation was more than a slow process, it was a push. And I truly don't understand why it happens exactly in that moment, but I trust it. It created more confusion at the end versus my energy. But it was the perfect moment, otherwise it would never happen in that moment. So much confusion and mystery about I'm feeling sitting in the fog when it's related to my name, Jesus Christ. People still think with their mind they can find out what's happened to me. Why is it so important? Why don't you take your own responsibility in finding your relationship towards God instead of using your mind for another level of distraction towards my existence? The only thing you need is your heart. Your heart has to be open. The heart is the representative layer of the universal consciousness, of the universal heart of unconditional love. I know that humans are curious, and they discovered many things out of curiosity. But it's always related to this realm. And if this would make any difference, if I would have lived and I would traveled, for what? Can you give me any one reason why I should have lived? For what? That I die with gray hair, if I would have lived, I would never have seen the sun again. They would have kept me in a cave. Or what would you do if Jesus would come back? Have a cup of tea with him? What would you do? For what? Talking about the old times? How can a new level of consciousness begin when this consciousness would sit with you and talk about the old times? People, stop thinking about me. Stop using your mind to discover me. Feel, feel, and feel, and feel. Is it so hard to accept that I died? Would you want to keep everything alive? Are you afraid of my death? Are you afraid of dying so much that you want to keep everyone alive? It's one of the biggest resistance of the human beings to die. And it's the biggest lie at the same time. To die is a lie. But you have to die to find out the truth. The lie has to die. You understand? You live a lie, and this lie has to die. You have to sacrifice something. And God sacrificed me. Hallelujah. So what? And now what? Just leave me where I am. I'm not on this earth anymore. Well, at the moment I am, but not in a physical way. Just having a host that speaks for me, to me, with me, together we speak and express it. And tell you why it's so important how I looked. Why is there so much weight on my physical experience? My physical appearance. I tell you, it's not so easy to talk for him. Why is my physical appearance so important? My love is always there. My love didn't die. And it's true if they say I didn't die. No, I didn't die. The lie died, yeah? And they're nurturing this lie until one day they will find out by themselves when their lie dies. They want to find out the truth, but they're nurturing the lie. They're feeding a lie. If a lie could walk, the lie would look like me. Would walk around, talk. A living lie, the physical appearance of Jesus Christ, the name that they gave me. Was it my real name? And now you ask me, what was my real name? Do Do you want to know my real name?
Tell me.
Isar.
Isaac.
Isark.
He was not Joshua.
No.
Has nothing to do with Jesus. The name. Isaac and Jesus or Joshua totally changed it.
See, if I would give you any other name, what would it change? I can give you 1,000 names. How many names would carry a lie? And how many lies would carry a name? Was this my real name?
I don't remember.
Jehovah, Joshua, Jesus. What name feels true for you?
Joshua.
So I know you make a tick in your list.
You asked me a question.
Yeah, but it's not, you're not the only one who wants to know my real name.
No, I didn't ask.
Oh, no, I know, but there are many who want to know my real name. How did I look? Did I have yellow skin, black skin, white skin? Was I tall, small, fat, skinny? Well, if I would have been fat, I would have fallen from the cross. It was not very common to be a fat person at that time. The diet was very limited. I loved dates. I loved them. No, obviously I wasn't fat. But I didn't have to eat much. She is another subject. She never made it. Not that I didn't want her. She didn't want to.
Why?
For her appearance, she is celebrating the creative energy. She just likes it. That's it.
Maybe also, what I was feeling is that that was not the time for the feminine energy to arise. Because no, it has
Time is the biggest burden towards the feminine energy.
Yeah. That was the
Calculation of time never works.
That's why it was your.
That's the biggest mistake of the humans. Time.
Well, time was not made by them.
Of course, time is a human concept.
It was maybe forced upon them.
You know, time is one of the biggest lies and the biggest burdens. Because if the humans see themselves in the relation towards time, time seems to have an endless quality. Because time expands, time has different chapters of your life, and that's very confusing for the humans.
Okay. Going back to the subject before,
To
I have
who?
a question. Was it related that that you made it, but Maria Magdalena just couldn't do it because just the consciousness of the planet regarding the female energy was not developed yet, and it has to.
It was the connection towards time. It is always a relationship between time.
Her connection towards time, or of the humanity at that moment?
No, she was too smart for that. She was one of her kind. And it's very strong. Very strong. There was a group that loved me, and you have disciples. They were responsible, and I let them. You have to imagine when you are a spiritual guru, okay? You can take any of your time, and they have a circle, inner circle with them. And they're so interconnected with you. And you know their shortcoming, emotionally and personally, but you don't interfere. And this is what happens. There is no other way. When I reconnect to the history of myself until now, God must be so happy to have so many different experiences. And they're all related to one question. The truth about myself. Isn't that funny? So many different outcomes related to my existence. so many questions, don't use your mind. But you never learn to. The other way. Because life is based on imbalance. There is no harmony on this earth. The only harmony that exists is nature. And nature can take a lot. The capacity of nature is infinite. The capacity of the humans is related to nature. But the nature of humans is to ignore it. The answer is so simple. The only thing is the questions are complicated, because the questions are coming from the mind. But the answers towards me are very simple. Tea time with Jesus. Where's my tea?
It's empty. Next time,
you invite me to a tea?
wait for you. Yeah, of course.
I would love to have a date.
Oh, we have really good dates.
Want
me to be one?
No.
Next time we will welcome you with a
You have to be prepared
nice Japanese tea
to be in the presence of me.
and a couple of dates.
Now, the secret towards humanity, you have to bow. But the ignorance is the opposite. When you're so stiff that you cannot bow anymore. So straight because you're so important. But when you have the capacity to bow, the moment society bows to each other, humanity bows to each other, then you know, you don't have to hug. Just bow. Like I have learned it in India, to bow. But not in that lifetime. We are all circulations, coming and going and coming and going, and all presence, appearances. Enough said. Enough food for the mind. We're gonna make a festival one day. And it's called Jesus in the Park.
In the park.
Yeah, why not? Like Woodstock, you know. Has to be a big park. And then I show them how to bow.
Let's do it.
Let's break their spines so that can bow. Let's break their ego so they can bow. Woodstock was fun.
What?
What a big theater. Sometimes I wonder, everything that happened to me just happened for the entertainment of God. He's like, I want to have the theater of my life. Please, Jesus, can you die? Please don't take me too serious. There's so much drama involved in my personality.
Opening the door.
Yeah, open the doors towards your hearts. And when Woodstock happened, they did it, but with a lot of support. With no direction. And a lot of sex.
And drugs.
That's, I didn't want to say the drugs, but
They were present.
yeah. It was just a big experiment. Psychedelic experiment. But I think God had his entertainment.